Pro athletes have access to the healthiest foods so they can play in excellent physical condition, but some athletes have rather bizarre choices of meals before a game. From Eggos to peanut jelly and even McDonald's. What are the weirdest pre-game meals of pro athletes? Keep watching to find out. It's important to note that what works for one person might not work for everyone. In the book titled Winning by Tim Grover, who was Michael Jordan's personal trainer in his days. Back on the Bulls, Grover goes into a lot of the details on Jordan's pre-game rituals, and it contains a lot of pretty interesting stuff, as you would imagine. A lot of us assume that you have to eat a bunch of carbs right before a big endurance event, but what Michael found was that this diet plan was not as effective for him, because he would get to about halftime and he would start crashing, so about 3 hours before a game, Michael would actually eat a big steak. All protein and fat with very little carbs. But that's Jordan. There are a number of pro athletes that have weirdest pre-game meals that you've ever heard of. Seriously, who would pick Eggos over the nutritionist's healthier options before a game? Bryce Harper, that's who. The outfielder of the Washington Nationals takes the pre-game meals to another level. In fact, it can be considered superstitious. In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Harper spoke about his superstitious habit of 7 pre-game showers and pre-game waffles. While they might be a bit lacking in protein, waffles certainly provide a dose of carbohydrates to give any ball player energy. The weird thing about Harper's pre-game meal is not just that they're waffles, but that they have to be specifically Eggo brand waffles. Whatever his mojo was, it worked. Who's next? Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky is a legend in ice hockey and is considered the greatest hockey player of all time. We'd be here all day if we had to list all of his accomplishments. It's endless. One thing that we can tell you is that on an individual level, he was able to score 200 points in 4 different seasons. Do you have any idea how incredible you must be to score 200 points in a single season? Those numbers are phenomenal. But Wayne had an extraordinary pre-game meal. The hockey superstar would eat 4 hot dogs, which must also contain mustard and onions. It was unusual for him to have popcorn, pizza, and a drink of Diet Coke. Wayne Gretzky never changed his pre-game diet, as he was used to eating that way. If that's what it takes to be that great, what are you waiting for? Then there's Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby is a famous ice hockey player who plays for the Pittsburgh Penguins and Canadian national team. As you might expect, when you play at such a high level, everything is very professional. But not with Sidney Crosby. His pre-game meal was nothing of the sort, as he will usually eat a peanut butter and a jelly sandwich. Just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Yup! Well, nobody would dare to eat McDonald's before a game. That's not nearly good enough, right? Wrong. Meet Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson is an American football player, so as a player in this sport, it would be rewarding to his body if he filled it up with carbs and proteins. Eggs, chicken breasts, and pasta, right? Well, Chad had a different idea. His pre-game meals consisted of his McDonald's. Yes, an American football player eats McDonald's before games. Chad says as long as you work out like hell, it doesn't really matter much what you eat. He's got good genes, that's why he shows off like that. You think McDonald's are unhealthy for a pro athlete? Wait till you find out what Lyoto Machida takes down before games. Lyoto Machida is a UFC fighter, and UFC is a very physically engaging sport that requires a great deal of concentration and incredible tactical ability, so you don't get your lights out in a couple of seconds like a candle in a winter storm. So eating and drinking the right foods is crucial. But unlike literally every single athlete in the world, our man, Lyoto Machida, has been known to drink his own urine before games. On the bright side, you can argue that this is better than drinking someone else's urine, but why not just get a glass of water? He also rubs the urine on his hands. This is done because it's a family tradition and he claims it toughens his skin. What do you think of Lyoto Machida's pre-game juice? Let us know down there in the comments section below. St. Louis Rams quarterback Sam Bradford doesn't have a specific food that he eats for his pre-game meals. He does, however, have a specific number in mind when he decides what to eat on game days. 3. Why 3? You might ask, but guess what? My guess is as good as yours. Whether it be 3 slices of pineapple, 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or 3 lone pieces of broccoli, Bradford eats everything in his pre-game meal in sets of 3. That's just weird. Another weird pro athlete is Paul Pierce. The diminutive forward Paul Pierce plays for the Washington Wizards, but he spent over a decade with Boston Celtics. He's a 10-time NBA All-Star and even has an NBA championship to his name. His pre-game meal? Nothing more than a peanut butter and a jelly sandwich, and obviously, it works for him. Another quirk? This is not just a meal that Pierce would eat any time before the game. Not so at all. He has to eat a sandwich precisely 55 minutes before the game. The blood sugar would be just right and energy level off the charts. That's why, Paul Pierce is ready to rock and roll. Though this pro athlete is retired now, he spent his entire NFL career playing as a linebacker for the Chicago Bears. Brian Urlacher, a monster of a defensive player who spent his time on the field steamrolling opponents. He must have loaded up on protein before his games, till they ooze out of his ears, right? Wrong! Urlacher opted out of the typical savory carb and protein dish that many athletes favor, and instead chose to prepare for every game with a pre-game meal of chocolate chip cookies. You heard that right, chocolate chip cookies! Not just any amount though, exactly 2 chocolate chip cookies. Was it to satisfy his sweet tooth, or could it have been for a sugar boost? Whatever it was, it seems to have worked for him. Urlacher, in the tradition of many retired athletes, is now an analyst specifically for Fox Sports 1. Weird, but retired. Does he get a pass? Check out the next one. Guess who likes grilled pineapple with his salmon? Lebron James. We suspect he picked up a taste for the tropical fruit in Miami because the superstar spent some time with the Miami Heat before he went back to his home state to play with the Cleveland Cavaliers. One wonders what impact it'll have on his somewhat tropical pre-game meal of choice. Well, now you know. Before each game, James gets his personal chef to prepare him grilled pineapple and salmon. It's a meal full of nutrients and it obviously fuels James well, as you can see. He's still got that hot sauce, or if you like, pineapple and salmon. Pay homage to Lafit Finkai Jr. Most athletes will, and even athletes on this list, have to fill themselves up. This is required so they are ready and energized even if it might be unhealthy in some cases. Lafit Finkai is one of the greatest jockeys of all time, and his achievements have earned him a reputation in the game. You want to know what isn't so great? It's his pre-game ritual. He would eat a single peanut, not a bag of peanuts, not a sachet of peanuts. It would be one single peanut. This was due to his strict diet, which consisted of around 600 to 750 calories per day. This is because to be highly efficient in the sport, you have to be really smart in stature. In fact, there was a story that he split the peanut in half, eating one before the race and one after the race. Thank you for watching this video. Now that you've completed this video, which weird pro athlete's pre-game meal do you think that we missed out? Which of our top athletes surprised you the most? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button, share our videos with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. See you on the next one. Bye for now.